Watch out for the traffic jam ahead. I don't mean the old band traffic. I mean car traffic, but not like this. This is the best kind of car traffic I could imagine. These cars are all part of a group taking a long one-day cruise through the Northeast Texas area. This cruise began in Farmersville, Texas at 8 a.m., eventually making its way up to Bonham, Texas, which is where I first met up with them at approximately 10 a.m. Then finally, they went to my hometown at around noon, and then from there, they left for Paris, Texas, which they arrived at somewhere between 1, 2, 3 o'clock, somewhere around in there. Here I am going into Bonham for my first attempt at getting a picture of the cars coming into town and just meeting up with a bunch of my friends. I first met up with Pete Yates, really cool guy, owner of United Motors. He primarily does Buick restorations. Here's thumbnail number 1 and here's thumbnail number 2 of a M&M hearse that they've worked on. Suddenly, all the cars began to arrive out of every direction imaginable. I've seen enough of these cars that I know that they are primarily coming from the very northern portion of Texas. Not very many new cars, I only counted a couple, but the old classics were wonderful. Sit back and enjoy some of these cars coming into town. Here's Dawn that I've worked with, Cope and Pamela in their Cougar. Here's Cope again with Mike, Connie, and Russell. Mike and Connie's Corvette, Russell's truck. Here's Brian and Evan and their old car. Here's Rick with his old truck. And here's Mike and Amanda. And here is Mr. Yates with his Buick. This is just a quick panoramic view of the parking lot that they drove into. So they stopped here for a little bit for refreshments and just a general break before going off on another portion of the cruise. So I walked around and got a few pictures for you. Knowing that they were getting ready to leave, I needed to hop in my car and get home, have a quick early lunch, and be prepared for when they pass through my town. Here, I sat for a little while at Robert's Truck and Auto Repair. Very nice guy, always willing to help you out. So keep him in mind if you're in the North Texas Honey Grove area. So yeah, they finally arrived, and quickly I noticed that they are crossing the intersection and getting ready to go to my house. So I hopped up, ran around the corner real quick, just not even a block, and captured them going down my street. And then I moved to another couple of directions because they were passing right in front of my house. Let me play a little more music while the cars go past my house and down the street to the square. didn't take long for the cars to start slowing down and eventually getting backed up as they were trying to head into town. So kind of gave me an opportunity to get a little bit better shots of some of the cars and talk to them as they drove by. Finally, the traffic jam was done and everybody got into the town square where they went to lunch. And while they were at lunch, I kind of milled around a little bit, but finally hopped in the Corvette and drove around the town square a little bit, got some shots from it. And then finally, I hopped out and just started walking, into the square and get some pictures of the cars myself. So wandering up to the square, just taking some of these quick video clips, kind of enjoying the scenery, and finally just meeting up with Cope and Pamela, Connie, Mike, Rick, all the guys and gals, just talking to them a little bit and just getting some more shots of all the cars. Again, it was time to leave, so I found me a good street corner with a decent view and just started capturing some of the cars as they went by. Now from here, they're on their way to Paris, Texas, to one of the hotels on the Northern Loop. I went back home, grabbed my wife. We decided to take a back road trip starting from Paris, Texas, going along the Red River to Clarksville. And we ended up meeting up with a couple of the cars on the outer loop of Paris. And so here's a little bit of that. And as a result, I decided just to pull around, give you an idea of the hotel where they stayed. And as they began getting into the hotel, I really did not think that I would beat them there with as much of a delay as I had made. And just, I don't know, I just really didn't try, but I'm glad I did catch them coming into the hotel.